Hey folks, I'm Azlin Blow from AZ Entertainment. Last show before Christmas, and boy, have we got a fabulous lineup for you. Um, you know them all, they're all famous faces. So, we've got Chef Dennis in the US, Florida, right, Chef?
That's it. Not so sunny Florida today, but still 77 degrees, so it's okay.
That's not too bad. And we've got Larry Fournillier, of course, in Trinidad, and Maggie also in the US, and Candy in Japan. Now, we're going to start off with Larry in a bit, but before we do that, I'm just going to go over to Candy to say hello first. Who's woken up? 4 o'clock in the morning? Is it 4 now?
Exactly. Well, hello everybody from who is watching this. It's from o'clock. Good morning from Tokyo and having a cup of cappuccino.
Marvelous. Thank you, Candy. Let's go say hello to Maggie.
There it is. Hi, how are you?
Show us a bling.
Bling, bling.
That's it. We've always got to show us the bling. And we've said hello to Chef Dennis, so we'll go straight to Larry Fournillier now. Hi, Larry.
Hi,
Long
yes.
time no see, actually.
I know it's been a while. Things are kind of crazy here on the island. Christmas is a couple days away, and but unlike Chef, we're having a beautiful sunny day today.
Are you all set for Christmas?
As set as I could be. I won't be spending Christmas at home. I'll be going down to my uncle's.
Okay.
Where I'll be having Christmas lunch with him.
Okay, all right, and that's where all the family gathers for occasions and stuff. Right, okay. We're going to come back to you in a bit to tell us, you know, how you celebrate Christmas, what's tradition in Trinidad and stuff. But I'm just going to quickly, oops, Chef Dennis has disappeared. So I'm going to go to Maggie and ask her, Maggie, what are you doing for Christmas?
So after this show, my fiance, Christopher Fogelman, my son and I, we're driving up to Palm Springs. I do it every year. So we go. I have an uncle who has a Mexican restaurant in Palm Springs. It's called Los Pepes. That's my Tío Pepe, my Uncle Pepe. And we wait on the 24th. We do traditional Mexican style where we stay up until midnight. And at midnight, you know, it's like champagne goes everywhere and hugging and kissing, Merry Christmas kind of thing. So it's fun. It's not, and we don't really have the Christmas morning that Americans do. Usually Christmas morning we stay up. we wake up late. Sorry, there you go.
Okay, that's interesting. Candy, I know Japan obviously doesn't celebrate Christmas per se. Do you have plans personally for Christmas?
Well, actually, we did already the Christmas party yesterday, since it was the birthday of the emperor. Okay. Yes, it was a national holiday, and that's the start for the Japanese side. The tradition. They started 23, 24, and 25. That's the pick. The pick is 23. So it's a national holiday. So we had it yesterday. Unfortunately, we just finished it. We just finished it with a cake. As this is the Japanese way, a short cake, KFC, and yes, KFC. Yes, KFC.
This is a foodie show. Be careful what you say.
Okay. Sorry. With chicken. Okay. Grilled chicken. Okay. Grilled chicken wherever you can get. And the Japanese sushi. That's it.
Funny. So funny. Okay, I'm gonna let Chef Dennis have a few words, but before that, I just want to bring this comment up for you, Candy, from Christopher Woolman.
I know. Okay. It's done.
Time to milk the cows. Right, Chef Dennis.
Well, we won't be milking any cows here, and no cow tipping either, Christopher. But tonight, actually, we're going out. We're going to Disney, to one of the hotels, to the Contemporary, where we're going to be eating at the top of the Contemporary at the California Grill. So it's at 9:50. So that's the start to our Christmas celebration here. And then tomorrow for Christmas Eve, we're going to some friend's house. And it's a little different being in Florida because we don't have as many friends here for Christmas as we did up in the Philadelphia area, where it was easier just to drive from house to house or go out and look at the decorations. Here, you know, it's just a little changed from that. But we're still going to celebrate and have a good time. I got a chicken, an organic free-range chicken to roast for Christmas Day. And then we'll do some stuffing and things, and tomorrow night. I don't know what we're going to eat yet. I'm sure it'll be seafood. It won't be all 7 fishes, but it will be 3 or 4 of them. So.
Excellent. That sounds good. I do love seafood. So, you know, I've never had 7 fish. One of these days we'll have to do that. 7 different types of fish dishes. Larry, tell us what's happening for you for Christmas.
Like I said earlier, Christmas Day I'll be heading on to my uncle's house. I will help him with the preparation of the meal. It's usually a big spread, so I'll be taking some photos and uploading it. We usually eat around 3 o'clock. Usually in the morning they have parang. Folks would come by and play songs in Spanish. It's a Spanish tradition. Being that we are so close to Venezuela, some of that has bled over into our culture, where they sing parang. It's all Christmas-related songs in Spanish, and
what is parang?
Parang, P-R-A-N-G.
Okay. What is right? I think we might just have lost Larry for a little while. Maggie, do you know what that is, Maggie? As it's Spanish. I know you're not Spanish. I know, but
well, actually, my grandparents are Spanish, but I've never heard of this.
No?
I was just Googling it just as he was saying that.
Cool. Anything?
No, is it P? He said P-A-R-A-N-G.
He said PR, didn't you? But it sounds as if it's P-A-R-A-N-G.
From the Philippine side, it's a leaf for us, which blends. We usually put it on rice. Okay, the parang. We have a different one in the Philippine side. That's it. I don't know for the Trinidad and Tobago side, but for the Southeast Asian side, we put it in rice. So it's
a type of leaf. So what's musically what's the music connotation? He was talking about music or performance or food. What was he talking about?
Larry, we need you.
We have a different kind of parang in Florida. We take the leaf and we roll them and then we smoke them and we play reggae.
Well,
that's so cool.
Well, you know, he is in Trinidad, so you might be warm, Chef. You might be warm. Maggie, why don't you show us one of your wines? See if he comes back. I know he's had a lot of trouble with his internet this week.
So I was thinking about what wine to take or to bring onto the show. You know, what is and something that's going to appeal to everybody. So I actually brought 3. Hold on, this one's heavy. This one's not so heavy, if you can tell. But there are 3 different wines from the same winemaker. This is a guy. His name is Josh, and or actually not a guy. Sorry, I'm telling the story wrong. But Joseph Carr, who is the winemaker, named his winery after his dad, who was named Josh. They called him Josh. So I thought that was really sweet. Anyway, so he has I have 3 different blends, all from Josh. One of them is a Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a more meatier kind of thing. Into my uncle's house and all our Mexican dishes, this would be a great spicy one. So if you have a hearty prime rib kind of thing, this is more of what you want. You want a cab, something strong to go with. Okay. The Pinot. Oh my God, I love this. And after I publish, I'll share the link to my Josh wine and with me talking about them. But the Pinot, I had Christopher's sister sent us a pumpkin chocolate chip bread, and I had it with this Pinot because there's cocoa in this. It was like, oh, so this is actually a wine that could carry throughout the entire meal. So you could start with the little white and, you know, go into the heartier dishes and even take you to the very end, depending on what you're having, of course. But the chocolate in here, never would have thought of it until I tasted the 2. I just happened to have some wine, you know. And lastly, last but not least, we have Legacy, which is a red wine blend. And you have to be careful with red wines, but there's rosemary in here. And because of the rosemary, you know, think chicken. So chicken or a turkey or, you know, something savory like that.
Interesting.
And there you go.
Right. We haven't got Trini Man back, as he calls himself sometimes, I believe. So we are going to head on over to Chef. And Chef, what did you think of Maggie's wines? Do you drink reds?
I don't drink hardly at all anymore. When I drank wines, I preferred reds. They just had more to them than a white wine. More characteristics, more flavors, more complexity to me. And I could be all wrong because I don't know anything about wines. But to these taste buds, that's kind of what it was. But I really don't drink anymore unless it's a bottle of Prosecco. And I always tell everyone, if you want some, get it now because there's not going to be any left in a few minutes. Might as well just, give me that and go find something else to drink. But they sounded really interesting. I liked the one that had the cacao in it. That sounded like it might be a wonderful way for a dessert wine. And I can always tell which ones you like the best because the bottles are more empty.
Because they're empty. But here's a question for you, Chef. Do you like tequila? Are you a tequila drinker?
I'm not a big tequila drinker. I will drink it. You don't have to twist my arm, but if I'm looking for something to drink, vodka was always my choice of poison.
Oh boy!
And so many interesting vodkas. I have not had any flavored vodkas yet because I was a purist. Back in the day when I was drinking, there was Stoli. If you could find Stoli Cristal, that was the 100 proof, the good stuff, and there was Absolute, and I always called Absolute like a yuppie woman's vodka. I said, don't ever give me that. They'd always try and put it over ice, and I would say, just put it in a glass. Don't put any ice in it. Don't dilute my vodka. And then there was a Japanese vodka called Suntory.
Oh, yes.
I have not found that in ages, and I love that because that would numb my mouth. That was...
Chef, I'll send it to you.
Okay. I have not been able to find that in so long.
Ping me.
Cool. You can send Chef some. I tell you what.
Oh well.
Let's Chef. Let's get cooking, shall we?
Let's get cooking. All right. Let me get my pan a little hot while I talk about flambeing. And there really isn't a lot to flambeing. It's not difficult. It's not something that you need to really practice a lot on. Some very simple principles, and one of them is usually the alcohol, you want it to be a little on the warmer side if possible because it will ignite faster. When you're igniting something, like if I was making a chicken dish or something else that had food in it, meat in it, you want to make sure you get it ignited pretty quick. You don't want to rely on just the heat burning the alcohol off because that will tend to make things a little bitter because alcohol is a little bitter. So you want to make sure you get that alcohol burned off so you have all the rich flavors of what you want to put in there. So that's one thing to remember to do. And then that whatever you're flambeing with has a high enough alcohol point to ignite. Like you can't use wines or beers to flambe with, and some of the liqueurs just really won't light if there's not enough alcohol in them. So you want to find something. You don't want it to go over like 120 proof because you might as well just use gasoline then. But you want to have something with some power to it to combust. So I'm gonna go ahead. Do you have a question?
I was gonna say, so brandy and rum tends to be the more common ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the Italian kitchen, I would make chicken marsala, and that ignites very well. For desserts, I used to use anisette a lot of times with fruit. Because that gave it, like where I don't like anisette at all, but mixed with fruit in this instance, it gave it a nice flavor. And I would serve that a lot of times over poultry, especially like a fowl, like duck or goose, or something a little stronger. Then you put a nice fruit sauce on it, and it really complements it. So you want to, those game meats will take fruits, and a lot of the old hunter sauces, we had those in it. But flambeing nowadays is pretty much used for desserts. It's a great way to get something out with the induction cooker. It's really easy. If you have gas ignites. If you're careful with your pan, you can ignite it without a stick or anything. So this is getting pretty hot now. So I'm going to throw some butter in. This is going to go pretty quick once we start. Some butter in. We're going to get some brown sugar right in with it. Because I don't want the butter to just burn. I don't mind it getting a little dark because this is going to be a dark sauce. So a little bit of brown butter is a good thing, especially with what I'm making. All right. I've got that in. I'm going to give it a little squeeze of lemon. I'm going to dump some pineapple in. And you can use just about any fruit you want. I just thought pineapple would be a nice choice. I'm going to just coat it really well. Get it nice and coated.
Do you let the sugar caramelize slightly on the pineapple? Okay.
Yep. Let it caramelize with the natural sugars of the pineapple. Okay. Let it bubble up, and at this point you can tell if you need a little more butter, if you need a little bit more sugar. You put it in. You could even salt this just a little bit, because you know the new thing with salty and sweet is big. Or you can wait till it's done and put a little sea salt on it, maybe some colored sea salt just for effect.
Okay.
But it's caramelizing up. I've actually got caramel in here. And if I wanted to take it another direction, I could probably put a little heavy cream into it and make a really nice creamy sauce. But we're going to let this go ignited, so let's see. We're going to put some dark rum in it. And
watch those eyebrows.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story. There we go.
Oh, so cool.
Just saying that.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yay!
Hey!
So this is burning off the alcohol. Now this is the time you want to get the marshmallows out if you have them. And again, the pan was really hot, so I didn't have to worry. Now let me tell you a story. In the old days of cooking, when I was cooking in restaurants, we'd have the alcohol right next to the stove, and it would tend to get warm just because of how hot it was. Well, they always said, don't pour over the stove, don't pour over the stove, you know, you'll have problems. But, you know, you don't listen. You pour over the stove. And I poured over the stove for I don't know how many years. And then twice in the same week, I had a bottle explode in my hand.
Oh, my God. Wow.
And luckily, it was only anisette. But it's a wild thing because you hear, you know it's happening because you hear the whoosh, boom. And then the back blows out. The whole bottle doesn't blow up, thankfully. The back end blows out.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it doesn't erupt into glass shards everywhere. It just, the back of the bottle blows out. So that happened. You know, and we're incredibly busy, and I just don't have time to move away from the stove those few seconds. So I had done it. So later in the week, you know, I hadn't learned my lesson. Happened again in the same week, and I said, all right, this is a mess. This is a message, and I'm done. So from now on, the pan, when I'm pouring on gas, this isn't as bad because it's the gas that tends to ignite it really quickly, but the alcohol was extra warm, so it had that head start. So when I'm on gas now, I always take the pan off of the stove, I turn, pour it, and turn back, and then give it a flip, and the flip usually is what will ignite it. You just want to get one little flip in there.
Okay, cool. Wow, that's great, Chef. That's really, really good. I love that.
Yeah, and so at least we have some nice. And if you want to get the sauce a little thicker at this point, I would just, when you're ready to go, you could just drop a little really cold butter into it and heat it back up a little, and that should tighten it up just a little bit to serve.
Okay. And so how would you serve this then? So we can see what you've done. How would you serve this pineapple?
I would serve it over, if you had some nice pound cake, or some other kind of cake that was maybe a little denser that would absorb some of these liquid, a slice of cake or ice cream, or if you want to go with making a distinctive kind of waffle, like a little Belgian waffle, even with ice cream in this, you know, not necessarily a breakfast kind of, you know, but you can have that for dinner as well. You know, over in the States, a lot of the big things we have on our boardwalks is they make Belgian waffle ice cream sandwiches. And they're humongous. Oh yeah, they're humongous. But that's, you know, that's one of these boardwalk things we would get. So, you know, think along those terms. You know, you could put it over anything, even crepes, pancakes. You know, anything that you want to turn into some kind of a dessert, special dessert.
Would it work with just ice cream? So.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I have 2 little bowls of ice cream. Lisa just left. I was going to give her some, so I'll wait till she comes back. But I have 2 little bowls of butter pecan in there that I had dished up, and I'll actually throw a little bit of butter because the sauce is just a little thin. And one good thing about the pineapple is I can leave this on low, let it reduce a little, and let it thicken up.
Okay.
I've done this with blueberries. I've done this with strawberries. I actually saw some beautiful red currants at the store this morning. And I was thinking about using them, but that might be more for a clearer sauce. This is a little browner, and you really get the impact.
Would the berries you've mentioned, would they cook down and get soft?
They do. So that's something you need to serve right away. Grapes were really good. Grapes hold up really, really well. In fact, a funny story is that I was up in Vermont one time, and we were doing duck, and I went to the store to get things, and they had pints with the largest blueberries I'd ever seen in my life. They were beautiful, and they were humongous, and they turned out to be Concord grapes. But I'd never seen Concord grapes presented in pints like blueberries would be off the stem. So that made a delicious sauce, except for the seeds was the only thing. But they were outrageously good. So we had duck with Concord grape that night.
I bet. Well, that sounds good. Thank you, Chef. That was really, really good. I mean, I've flambéed before, but I've done what you said about just sort of tilting it to the gas fire, and it never works like that. So that's a trick. Get an igniter.
The igniter works good, and then again, it's got to be. I let the pan get really, really hot since I really didn't want to go into the trouble of warming up the alcohol.
No.
I just wanted the pan, and that will cause it because you want to get that initial surge of heat as fast as possible and to warm it up so you can ignite it, and then the alcohol will burn off. And that was a pretty good burn. I was surprised that it burned that long. And that was in the old days, that was one of the reasons I had no arm hair either.
So I've got a quick question. Sorry, if anyone's got a question for Chef Dennis, by all means, just jump in. But I've got a question for Chef. Over here on Christmas Day for Christmas dinner or lunch, we serve Christmas pudding, and we sort of spoon a burning ladle of brandy over. What's the best way to do that to get it to burn the longest?
Oh, that's a good question. I would think that your pudding would have to be really saturated to begin with, because if the brandy soaks into it, you're going to lose your fire. You're going to lose your flame. So I think if you can, I mean, do you typically serve it? I've never had that. I hate to say Christmas pudding, but do you typically serve that? Is it very moist and wet, or?
Yes, it is. It's the one we were talking about the other day, where it gets steamed for 8 hours, and theoretically the alcohol should be burnt off, but I can always feel the alcohol, the buzz going through my head with Christmas pudding. So it is very moist, and we steam it again for an hour before serving it. So it is very moist and it is alcohol laden. But I guess if you sort of just add a touch more brandy before serving, and then
or use a simple syrup first, just to get a little soak in it, and then let the alcohol sit on top of it. And also, if you're steaming it, I think when you steam it, you're kind of opening up the pores of the dessert a little, so it's going to soak more rapidly. So you may want to steam it, let it rest, and let it close back up a little bit, so it's a little denser again. Because I think it must get a little lighter when you steam it a little bit, just a little.
Yeah.
And letting it rest would let it kind of collapse a little more, so it wouldn't absorb as fast. I'm not really sure, but I mean that's what I would try if you want it to burn a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, I suppose you could just take it to the table. And no, I mean, now that I've seen you doing that, so light the brandy on the table.
Just be careful it doesn't go back up into the pitcher. I worked at a restaurant. I worked at a restaurant, and they used to make this thing called Café Diablo, and and they would take an orange and they would peel the orange so that it spiraled, and then they would take that peel, and there were seasonings and like 7 different alcohols, and then they would light it, and the flames would go up through the peel.
Wow.
So it made like a tower almost, and he'd hit it with nutmeg or something, and you'd see like sparkles, and it was delicious coffee, number one. But what a show! You talk about that was real tableside, like the old tableside kind of cooking.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Chef. That was really good. And from the comments, we've got lots of comments about it from the audience. Everybody loved it. Someone's even asking for music for this show. Look, we've even got Christopher's given us a link for flambé music. Look, so
there you go.
Everybody enjoyed.
I thought he was saying to use Fireball, that new stuff they make. What's the still alcohol? Oh my God, my mind's the old homemade whiskey. But they have moonshine. Wow. They have a moonshine called Fireball. So I was saying I would not want to ignite moonshine. I mean, I might throw a match into it from here, but I would not try. I would not try igniting it.
Yeah, me neither. Right, we've got a comment here from Jamal. He says, Chef Dennis, I adore seeing you cook. So That's fine.
Oh,
We're gonna head on over to Larry before we lose him again. So Larry.
Yeah, sorry about that earlier. I had, of course, internet issues.
Yeah,
But anyway.
You've had issues all week, haven't you? Yeah. So.
Yeah. But anyway, I got back in time to see Chef do that wonderful flambé, and to have with that flambé, we have the Trini black cake.
Ah.
That's what my father made, and it's a traditional cake, like your black pudding in England. But it's typically to get it dark. It's typically typically a regular sponge cake, but you add fruits that he has been soaking for the past year, and you add molasses to give it the dark color, and it's very moist. And the other thing, it's very sweet actually.
Do you eat it with anything else?
With the flambé that Chef just did.
All right, with the flambé, okay.
No, actually we do it with ice cream. You could eat it with ice cream, or just by itself. You also put rum in this. It's soaked with rum, heavily with rum.
Okay.
The next thing is the fruit, not fruit cake. This is the sweetbread.
Okay.
It's raisin bread with cherries and other good stuff.
What's the green?
The green is a sort of thing you buy in the store. Now I didn't make this. My father's cousin made it. She bakes it every Christmas, and she sent me a whole loaf. It's a sort of a sweet candy.
Crystallized peels, colored maybe.
Glazed candies.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what it is.
Excellent. And what do you have the sweet bread with? Is it like sort of like the equivalent of the panettone?
Yeah, you can have the sweet bread with your tea or your coffee.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't have any pastels. Pastels is another nice dish that we prepare. You prepare it with cornmeal, raisins, beef, pimentos.
Okay.
You season it up with Trini green seasoning, and you make it like a patty, and you press it out, and you wrap it in banana leaf.
Banana leaves, right? Okay.
Yeah, and you steam it.
What is it? Is it a main dish? Is it a side?
It's some people have it as a main. It's no, but majority of people have it as a side, and it's usually made around Christmas time. So part of the meal on Christmas Day that I'm going to be taking pictures of, we're going to have black cake, pastels, ham, pork, turkey. That's when we eat a lot of turkey in Trinidad on Christmas Day, not Thanksgiving, because of course we don't celebrate Thanksgiving down here. But the spread is usually big. Fish is included, and a lot of root vegetables we have, like cassava, potatoes,
sweet potatoes, and so on.
Sweet potatoes, taro root.
Okay.
Edos, plantains.
Okay.
The banana.
Excellent. And what do you all drink? Oh wait, let me guess. Rum.
Well, yeah, rum. But we also drink sorrel, which is red. We use the leaves from the tree, the flowers from the sorrel tree, and make a drink with that. And we add rum to that also. We also have ginger beer made with ginger, ground ginger, and but yeah, the sweeten it really good. So I'm not a fan of ginger beer because it tends to be a little scratchy going down, because it's made from the real root. It's
right
from scratch.
Fresh ginger.
Fresh ginger, yeah.
I've got a question, and it's from Christopher, and I was going to ask the same question. Is this the same type of black cake that you would find in Jamaica that uses brown? I recently came across a recipe someone posted, and it had brown sauce in it, but the burnt sugar kind of brown sauce.
Yeah, well, like I said, what gives it this is the molasses, which is burnt sugar.
Yeah.
Essentially. But yeah, Jamaicans make it. They have their own twist there, but it was traditionally started in Trinidad. This is called the Trini black cake, and the rest of the islands have sort of copied and have their own, put their own twist and turn to their cake.
Okay.
But yeah, essentially it's a Caribbean cake, and it's eaten and baked around Christmas time.
Okay. Maggie's got a question about parang, haven't you, Maggie? But I'm just going to bring up this one comment first. Burning, the flame is higher as the HOA gets more hotter. Yeah, okay. That's from Bruno Miguel Santos. I've got a line for you folks. The roof is on fire. Finish that line.
We don't need no water.
That's it.
Let the hangout burn. Let the hangout burn.
Wait. Go back. Chef, what were you doing, Chef? The roof. That's it. Maggie, what the question about parang? What was that we were saying?
What is
just now? Parang.
Yeah, what is parang?
Parang, P-A-R-A-N-G. It's sung in Spanish, but it has a Christmas theme, like the birth of Christ, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in parang in Spanish, with a Caribbean twist. If you go to YouTube, there are a lot of parang videos on there with people singing from Trinidad and Tobago.
Is it a carol? Is it a word for carol or a song?
No. They put their own twist in it. They not necessarily might use a carol and
but is it the equivalent of, are they Christmas songs then? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, we do sing Christmas carols because this was handed down in English, but the Spanish parang, it's a completely different dialect. And if you go to YouTube, you just type the word parang, and you will get all the videos.
Okay.
It's very melodic. It's a very melodic song.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. I mean, until now. But yeah, you're right. There's a bunch of stuff on YouTube. I'll drop one of the links for the.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a different me for me too.
Candy, I'm just gonna ask you. Of course, you've been living in Japan for a long time, but you were originally from the Philippines. How did you used to celebrate Christmas as a kid?
Oh, geez, I miss all of those things from cheese. The Philippines, from the Philippine side, you have the cheese, the ham, the hot cocoas. The lechon, the big pigs. Okay, that's what I miss. And all gathering around this one Christmas table with grapes, with apples, everything in round because of the Chinese concepts and everything. We have that kind of thoughts, and this is happening during the Christmas Eve. So I miss all of those things, and then that's it. I miss all of those things. It's totally different from the Japanese side, which is only the shortcake and the grilled chicken and the sushi.
And did you used to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning on Christmas morning so you can attend dawn mass?
Yes, we actually. No. It started when it's Christmas Eve. It started around 11 o'clock. Okay.
It's midnight mass then.
It's midnight, and then it meets midnight mass. Midnight mass. Then it will 1 hour. Then it hits. Then that's it. And then you go back home, celebrate, and then everything is there. The joy is there, but not here in Japan. It's totally way different. I can say.
Yeah. Well, yes, because it's different
cultures and everything
all together.
Yeah.
Right. We are. Sorry, go on.
Can I ask Chef Dennis about the flambé that he does? She has that. Well, Chef, actually, that it's quite intriguing for me. If you want to put a vanilla distract on it, it will be a perfect one or a bad one. What is your best suggestion for this?
To add a vanilla extract to it?
Yes. When it's done and it's caramelized, and then you're putting it up on your pancakes or waffle or that or something, just to add a little more impact on the.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I turned it back on a little bit and I threw some butter in it, and so it did.
It does look thicker now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did thicken up just a little bit. So
Okay.
that's always a nice way. And you're making caramel sauce. That's it. You're making caramel sauce and throwing some fruit in them. And I used rum, but you can use almost any other liquor. Like I said, Anisette's always a good one. Cointreau, triple sec. Depends on what you're making.
Cool. All right.
And I was just thinking
Thank
too,
you,
it would probably go really good with like sweet potatoes. Flambe some, cook some sweet potatoes and then flambe them up like this. That would really be nice.
I've tried it once with here in Japan, the Okinawa's violet carrot root with violet. Okay, the violet ones, and it's
The
way
purple yam.
yes, the purple yam. It is way perfect. Awesome. I can say.
Right. Do you have purple yam in Trinidad?
Tokyo? Oh no.
No, for Larry.
That's a staple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've been looking for them. I can't find them anywhere around here.
Please don't say that when Candy's around. She'll just say, "I'll send them to you."
Yeah, I'll send it to you from the Okinawan side. Okay.
I have to go to a Asian market probably to look for them.
Yeah,
Well,
chef, you could
much more cheaper.
probably get them. You could probably get them in a West Indian market if there's one close by.
There is actually. I'll have to go to it.
Yeah, just ask them for dashin. When you go, ask them for dashin, because that's what we call it here, dashin.
Oh, okay. Cool. Interesting. Right here, folks, we are at the past the half-hour mark, and that was our last show before Christmas. And what a show it was, eh? So I'm going to let everybody say whatever it is they want to say, starting from Candy.
I enjoyed it. I'm getting hungry about this. 4:30? Well, I have to grab something. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for
I love
joining us, Candy. Maggie.
Just Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Joyeux Noël, and I'll see you soon. The next episode.
Yeah, see you again soon. Back and to you, Larry.
Merry Christmas to everyone in the panel and to all the viewers out there. Have a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you, Larry. Chef?
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Very well done. Very well done. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Before Christmas, folks. Thank you so much for watching, even though it's the holidays and you guys have still stuck with us and watched us. So thank you. Have a good Christmas to all of you. We'll have one more show before the end of the year, next Tuesday, the New Year show. In the meantime, to all the panelists and to everybody in the audience, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful Christmas with you and yours.